did was to caution and that she shouldn't go in selling her clothes like that. She should just be patient. Be patient and wait for the court system to finally get everything figured out, which of course finally they did.
Yes.
And then you had enough money, more than enough to pay off the debt.
Well, which I did.
And to remain financially stable.
Well, yes, of course, but that initial embarrassment that I caused my son did not subside. Instead, I guess, it must have festered inside his brain for the next 6 years, turning into something far more maniacal, declaring that me, his own mother, had become mentally irresponsible.
But let's be, in fairness to Robert, you know, he thought that you would be in better shape if you would just get over the terrible fact in 1871 that her beloved Tad died. He had pneumonia and he suddenly passed away.
My 18-year-old Taddy. First it was Eddie, then Willie, then my dear, dear husband, and finally Taddy. All of them just simply taken right away from me.
And that's when we saw the detrimental effect on you. Don't you remember? That's right when you started that bad habit of yours of going out and spending money rather frivolously. Remember in Chicago, the hotel room, you littered it with purchases. You had curtains bought, but never unwrapped. You had no intention of hanging them up anywhere. You bought more footstools than you had chairs. And the jewelry, you weren't going to wear the jewelry, you were buying it. And, you know, and if that wasn't bad enough, one time evidently you came home, this time with 17 pairs of gloves.
Well, I happen to like gloves, but the salient point is this. It was my money, and it was not on credit.
But it wasn't just money. That's when you began seeing those mediums and having seances again. Remember the medium told you that you could see in the future, and there you saw the exact month and day that you were going to die. And what happened? The date has come and gone, should we say uneventfully? And then, I could not believe that you actually told a doctor that you knew what was causing the headaches. Indians. Oh. Indians pulling wires in your brain. Oh.
All right. That is enough. I admit I was having a troublesome time just then.
It was more than a troublesome time. I mean, your son worried you might take your own life. You were taking medicines far beyond what was recommended as dosages, and he couldn't believe. He couldn't believe that you were beginning to drink alcoholic beverages. His father would have turned over in the grave. And so he thought he had to do something, and he did what he thought was morally right.
Morally right? Spirited me before a Rick court hearing, controlled by a cabal that even included my own lawyer, who had stepped down so he could side with my son. No, you don't say anything, because you know they gave me no time at all to defend myself. And then the wicked men on that jury only took 10 minutes to sentence me to incarceration, to lock me up behind bars in a lunatic asylum.
Now, let's get this accurate. You know that I was against that legal system. That court was wrong. I told you that. But wait a minute. There were no bars. First of all, it was not a lunatic asylum. It was the Bellevue Place Sanatorium. Private facility, impeccable credentials, located in the middle of 22 acres of well-maintained gardens. And the bars on the window, they didn't exist.
Oh, no bars, just netting there to keep me in.
No, that was decorative.
That was not decorative. And you know, being in there was what turned my hair white in 1 month. And
wait. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought we were back in Springfield.
I am so
no
sorry. Oh, forgive us. I am so embarrassed. Why, I have never lost my temper like that before, and certainly never at Mr. Edwards. I don't think I have. I have nothing but admiration for Mr. Edwards. He is the one who stepped in months ago to serve as my attorney.
Now, don't be too generous with the praise, because there were a group of us. Don't forget Judge Bradwell and his wife, and well, the three of us had two immediate chores, so to speak, and one was to get you out of the sanatorium, not because it was a bad place, but because you were so unhappy there. And we got the administrator to agree that we could take her home to our home in Springfield, and my wife and I would take care of her, and they agreed with that. Then the next thing we went to work on was to get that court decision that put you there reversed. And you know, that court that we went back to and had a new trial, it would have went a little bit better if they hadn't found out that you were insisting on carrying that loaded pistol on your person while you stayed with us.
Oh, sure. Men do that all the time.
But that's not the point.
Even my husband had a loaded pistol on his person that night at Ford's Theater.
That's not what I'm getting at.
Well, what you should be getting at is Mr. Edwards finally won my case. That fair-minded jury set me free. I'll never forget their stated opinion. Thus said, Mary Lincoln has been restored to reason and is now capable of controlling and managing her estate. Oh, I felt vindicated.
Yes. Now that court's final settlement was a month ago. And there's something that Elizabeth and I don't know about it. I'm sure they'd be interested. Well, now that you're free from all of that, what's your immediate plans?
Well, since I'm once again in charge of my finances, I am going to retire to a small village in the south of France, where I hope to restore my health and my failing eyesight.
Well, before you go, will there be any kind of reconciliation between you and Robert?
Well, I really don't know about that. It doesn't seem quite possible. Oh, and I do not want you telling Robert where I am going or when I am leaving, because I am not telling him any of that information.
Are you concerned that he might try to get you back into the sanatorium?
Yes, I am. It is a possibility.
I don't think
well,
so.
it could be.
No.
But yet, I do have to admit that I do have a mother's love for her child left a little bit. And perhaps Robert may have some love left for me, his mother. So, well, and in 4 or 5 years, I shall return, and then, God willing, he and I may have a reconciliation.
Well, now, we hope you won't stay away that long. But if you do, get back when you get back, and if things can straighten out, that'd be good. That'd be a very good thing. Oh, and the reason I guess we've been brought here was to tell you about the times of the life of Mrs. Abraham Lincoln, and that brings you up to date. So, for my sister-in-law, Mary Todd Lincoln, and for myself, Ninian Edwards, well, we'd like to thank you for your hospitality and your incredible ability with time and space to have brought us here in the first place. I must say, it's really amazing. So we would thank you again.
Thank you.